Everybody, I'm back again with yet another Hot Toys figure. This is the Iron Patriot from the movie Iron Man 3. It's essentially the War Machine Mark II painted in the American flag colours. So I'm going to do similar to other videos, give you a head to toe look, go over the accessories and then do a few poses to show you the articulation. It will be better than the last video, the Agent Coulson one I did, because this one you need to show off a few things for the articulation. So here we go with a head to toe look. So the first thing that he comes with is the stand. This is a light up stand, exactly the same as the Mark II War Machine. I haven't got the batteries in it because I don't want them to leak. It's got the metal rod which is connected to the waist connector, which holds him up, which is ideal for sort of flying poses. It also comes with 7 hands. The hands I've got him with, I've got the light up feature and the articulated fingers. He also has 2 normal sprayed hands. These also have light up feature. These you can't articulate. They do have the scuff marks on the knuckles there. Got 2 fisted hands which don't have the light up feature. Again, scuff marks painted on them. And he has a saluting hand, which does have the light up feature. I'm not going to show the light up feature on this figure because you have to put the batteries in yourself, and I don't want to go through all that, and I don't want the batteries to leak. But it has a light up feature on the eyes, on his arc reactor and on his pulse beams on his hands, and it comes with all these batteries that you have to put in, and it comes with this screwdriver to enable you to do that. He also has this laser gun type weapon, which, same as the Mark II War Machine, you just pull this part off and connect this on. You'll be able to see that when I pose him up. He also comes with his shoulder cannon, loads of points of articulation. This point here swivels. It's quite tight, but it does swivel. Same as this bit, also swivels. And the cannon itself does swivel as well. It's quite stiff. It's got loads of little decals on it. Just see a few on the side there. A danger sign sticker there. And it's got a little connector which does also twist, see, and where that goes just pushes straight into this U-shaped area here. Anywhere on there you can place it. It also comes with a second head sculpt, which is this one, which is the Don Cheadle head sculpt. And it has a spring-loaded chin guard. Let's put it down here so it can focus a bit better. There we go. Great likeness to Don Cheadle. Again, it has the scuff marks on the paintwork. connected with a ball joint. and with this head you get two face plates. At first glance they look exactly the same, but they're not. If you notice, on the cheeks of the one on the right they protrude out, whereas this one they don't, and on the inside they're the same. They have magnets on the top here, which, let's try and do this one-handed. They just go straight on the top, so you can have it open display. You can have it further back if you wish. Doesn't seem to sort of fit there properly though. Or simply connect it straight down. So this will probably be the better head sculpt to put on the figure, because you've got the option of showing off Don Cheadle underneath. Onto the figure itself. Starting with the paintwork. Superb paint apps on this figure. Good theme throughout the whole of the figure. You've got loads of scuff marks all over the figure. Round on the waist here, on the tops of the legs, down on the knees, also on the feet. And these two flaps do lift. It's not like the other ones. You can't. The back panel doesn't open like it does on the other Iron Man figures. But you can see the scuff marks and the decals on this figure. Really nice. No visible. Well, you can see a couple of little screws there. That's where the batteries go. Articulation wise, when posing the legs, you've got a flap here that comes up and a flap at the front that also lifts. This prevents the this bit from scraping on the metal, so it can go underneath, and it does pose up nicely. You'll be able to see that when I pose him. He does have ab crunches where you can lift the chest up and down, and the shoulder pads are spring mounted, so they do move quite easily. The arm does come out and up, so you can miss the top part. It gives you better articulation. A lot of the older versions, this was solid on the arm, so you couldn't really pose it well, but on this figure you can. You'll be able to see that when I pose him. Head, the neck moves and the head nods on the neck, and it does do a full 360. You're not really restricted to the head, so it is, as you can see from the side there, you can have the neck right down, have the neck up, protrude the head out, so it's good for flight poses. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause the video, and when we come back I'll have him posed up so you can see how the joints move. So see you in a bit. Okay, just a simple flight pose at the moment. I just wanted to show you the legs more than anything really. As you can see, I've lifted this flap up and this flap up to get the leg in underneath, so it doesn't scrape on the metal. Well, this is actually plastic, so it doesn't actually scrape for the paint to come off. The arms do bend nicely, no real restrictions. The more you bend the arm up, the more you can see the workings underneath. For the purpose of these poses, I'm just going to keep to the articulated fingered hand. It's a lot easier. Keep swapping the hands out all the time. See, I've straightened the leg out, so it looks like he's just sort of launched himself up. And you can see a lot better now. The flaps do come out on the ankles, and I've placed his cannon on his back. I'll do a couple of flight poses just so sort of I can bend the arms around a bit more. so you can see just how much play you get with this figure. So it's quite a heavy figure. So half of it is die cast metal, the other half is plastic. So when we come back I'll have him posed up a little bit more. Okay, here I've got him flying a little bit more. I've just bent the other leg up this time, so you can see that both legs do the same thing. Pulled the arms back a little bit more. You can see a bit more of the workings underneath there. Lifted his head up so it's looking straight up. As you can see with the shoulder pads, they do come up over the shoulders a little bit more, a bit better than previous figures. I'll flatten the hands out, straighten this leg up a little bit, put the cannon on the other side. So for the next pose, I'll pose him up with the alternate weapon on his arm. I'll spray the arms out a bit forward so you can see that they do come forward. Okay, here's another simple pose. Just pulled his arms forward this time. Both legs move in there. Again, you can see, just push that down. Make it a little bit more natural. Got him leaning slightly to the side. This time I've got his alternate weapon on his arm, and the cannon's not put in, but I've just tilted it so you can see that you can tilt it to certain positions, so you don't have to have it straight all the time. And I put it a little bit further down on his back. One thing I have noticed, the arms do pop out quite easily, but you can just push them straight in nice without any problem. Another thing that I have noticed on mine, this can come off. It pops out. It's just on a little lug, you just push it back in. So that did pop out on mine, but it isn't broken. So if it happens to you, don't worry, you can easily push it back in again. When we come back, I'll have him in another pose. The legs, because these are die cast, I tried to have it so both legs were out, so it looks like he was sort of flying sort of backwards with both his arms and his legs sticking out. Because they're die cast, they're quite heavy and they tend to fall back down again. So that is one little niggle. So I'll just repose him. Another very simple stance pose. Just got the cannon bent out a bit more. It keeps going in and out of focus for some reason, not sure why. Just got the legs slightly open. Just wanted to show you, I've used a different stand here. You can actually use the old Hot Toy stands to hold him up. He is quite heavy though, so there's a good chance he could fall forward. So you've got to get the stance just about right if you want to use one of these stands. So what I'll do now is I'll swap the heads over so you can see the Don Cheadle head on this figure. Here he is with the alternate head sculpt on, saluting. I've lifted the waist up so it looks more upright. All you do is you just pull it up, and I put the front of his mask in his hands. Just one or two more poses and I think that'll be it. Okay, here I've got him with his two hands on that aren't articulated, and with these hands the difference is, oh, my battery's just flicked up, it's going low. The difference is the guards on the back allow you to flip the hands up that way, so it's a more natural pose. And I've got him just standing off of his stand there. So that's what those hands look like. So what I'm going to do now is pause it, and when we come back it will be the final pose that I'm going to have him in my Detolf. And here we go, just to finish off the video. Just got a normal stance, might tweak it around a little bit, but there you go, that's the Ironmonger, not Ironmonger, the Iron Patriot. Got his gun right down the bottom now, which I think looks a lot better. And I've got him with the alternate head sculpt on and the puffed out cheeks mask. So if you haven't got this figure and you're thinking about it, it's a definite yes from me. It didn't give me the wow factor, but it's still a brilliant figure. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Poses weren't too bad, I suppose. But until the next one, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.